What is up, everyone? It's Ryan, living in Cambodia, making videos so you can see what it's like to live in the Kingdom of Wonder. And today I am sitting down with a superstar, really. Retired in Cambodia video. It's Jim, and today we're both going to weigh in on some potentially aggravating things about Cambodia. Maybe Cambodia is not for you if you have a problem with these things. And some of these things, maybe Jim will have a problem with, some of them I won't. So we're here to discuss negative things about living in Cambodia, but not necessarily negative. I don't know. I hate to do negative Cambodia content, but these are the truths. Obviously, not everything is roses here, so we want to cover that as well as all the great stuff about living here.
Right. Life isn't perfect anywhere, and there are some things that I could say about Cambodia that I wish were a little different, but not going to make me leave the country.
Yeah, we're both here. We both love it here. So
yeah,
these aren't deal breakers for us, but they might be for you, I guess.
Yeah. No, I love living here in Cambodia. I had a lower expectation when I came to Cambodia, but once I got here, I found many things that surprised me and just endured me to the country, and now it's basically I am here for the rest of my life. I plan on dying in Cambodia.
Yeah. Did you find there was a big adjustment period?
Actually, it was very quick. I was surprised how quickly things happened and how quickly I was able to adjust. But part of it was because of the area in Phnom Penh that I chose to live first. Phnom Penh's a big city, and it's like New York is a big city, and you know, if you live on Fifth Avenue, it's not the same as the Bronx. And in Cambodia, you have the same thing. You have BKK1 and you have Tu Thom Pong, and Tu Thom Pong is my neighborhood. It's the area that I love. It's more of a, I would say, a good, solid middle class kind of neighborhood.
Yeah, like the expat community here is good because it's so varied and it's pretty big. I would say, as far as like population size versus how many expats are here, it's a decent percentage.
Yeah, when you walk down the streets, you see other people you recognize, and it doesn't take long, and yeah, you feel comfortable. I didn't feel like I was in such a foreign place for very long, because it wasn't very long before I could walk into a restaurant and people recognized me coming in, and they knew what I was going to order, and they'd just say the same and go to the kitchen.
Yeah, that's great. I have a list of things that bother me, some of them, some things that I know bother other people, but I want to know what your opinion is on them. Let's start with critters, because that's, for me, the number one. I would say maybe the number one is I hate rats. I can't stand rats, and there's not that many actually compared to other countries. I have a rat count that I do mentally in some places. Actually, in Cambodia, I write them down. So last rat I saw, I can tell you when it was and where I saw it, because I made a note in my phone. It's a little crazy.
I was going to say it's something weird, but go ahead.
My idea was maybe I'll do a video about rats in Cambodia, but I haven't done that yet. The last rat I think I saw was about a month ago, and so that's not bad. Like one rat a month or so is pretty good.
Most of the rats that I've seen are dead. You gotta, yeah. I have only seen a few live rats.
Really?
Actually, surprisingly enough, one of them was I'm sitting in a restaurant waiting for my takeout, and I see a couple rats running through the restaurant.
Really? off camera. Which restaurant was it? First of all, what critters have you found in your apartment, say, and which ones do you hate, or like, do you have any problem with any of it?
The only thing I have a problem with are mosquitoes, because I don't like the bites, or anything that bites me.
Mosquitoes, number one killer in the world, I think. Yeah. And it's a problem here. It's people who've lived here a long time. A lot of them, I would say almost 50% of people who've lived here for 15 years or longer have had dengue or something.
Or malaria.
Yeah.
At the end of the rainy season, we're gonna have mosquitoes. But I love the little lizards that are crawling around the wall to eat the mosquitoes. Yeah. I like them. I know as soon as I turn on the light, there's gonna be some somewhere.
Yeah.
What I don't like are the cockroaches. You know, they fly in. On the 8th floor, I'm like, I shouldn't have cockroaches, you know, but they fly, and yeah, you find cockroaches. but there's spiders and...
Big huntsman spider. Have you ever had one of those?
No.
They're like this.
Not quite that.
They kill cockroaches, but
Yeah.
they won't hurt you, but they're gross.
Ants.
Yeah,
Ants are you can't hardly keep ants away. I don't care if you're on the 50th floor of a building, they're going to have ants if you have food. So cleanliness is important. And
yeah, you can't leave food out overnight. All my food is packaged like in airtight things, or in the fridge. And sometimes I bought stuff in grocery stores here that I brought home and there were bugs in it.
yeah, that's just something you have to put up with.
Yeah. One time I found a earwig in my toothbrush, like sleeping in the bristles.
Yeah.
Went to pick it up to use it, and I saw it. Then the other day, we had all the windows and doors open. It was a nice night, letting the breeze in, and we had a light on, and then we noticed there's a lot of flying insects around. And this never happens, like maybe once or twice a year it seemed. And then the next day, they were all, actually I don't know if they were dead, but there were a bunch of wings. We had to sweep up a bunch of wings. So they must be like flying around, maybe mating, and they shed their wings, and who knows.
Yeah.
There's like certain times of the year where you just get hit by insects, and then you find like maybe a bigger cricket like months later that somehow survived and has been living in your house.
It's not all bad bugs here.
Yeah.
There's other things that we generally like. The butterflies, I've seen a lot of butterflies here when we go into the mountains, and I love that.
Any experience with snakes?
There was a snake one day, but I didn't see it. My friend was with me, and it fell out of the tree and slithered off, But that's the only snake I've seen.
Yeah. I just saw a bug on this recording device that I'm using, and it was in a cupboard that I have that somehow is infested with some kind of little tiny bugs. I don't know what they are. They could be termites or I don't know. But I keep a lot of my electronics in there, and I was using my laptop, and there was a bug that ran across the screen, tiny little thing. I was like, what is that? Oh, it's a bug. And I squished it, and I tried to wipe the body away, and it didn't wipe away, and it turns out it was behind the glass.
Oh, wow.
And now I have a squished bug that's on my screen at all times. I sprayed down my cabinet, bug spray, and tried to exterminate them. I don't know if that's gonna work. But.
Say hello to my little friends.
Okay, let's move on to, why don't you give me one of yours?
One of the things that I really find aggravating is when I'm trying to go to a restaurant or a business or someplace. First of all, they're not adequate signage, it's very, very hard to find. And then you find a small sign, and there's a door, so you go in, and it's just a hall, and then there's some stairs, and you start going upstairs, and the stairs are, one step is 6 inches high, and the next step is 8 inches high. They're different sizes steps, and the widths are different, and they're all made for people with small feet. So for me, I sometimes walk upstairs sideways, and they're so steep sometimes it's like climbing a ladder. So sometimes it's kind of dark, and you're kind of wondering, where the heck are you going? And there's no railings, there's nothing to hold on to. So stairs can sometimes be difficult.
Definitely.
If you have weak knees, getting in and out of tuk-tuks can sometimes be very difficult because some of them are smaller. And
How tall are you?
6'1".
Yeah, I'm 6'2", so
Yeah.
you know what it's like. There's
Yeah.
a lot of difficulty being tall here.
In my apartment, the counters are low, the stove is low, the fan that's above the stoves to vent the hot air, it's here.
Bashing your head on it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, we had a custom-made thing built that was higher for us, so if we want to chop things, we don't have to use the counter, which is really low.
In my building where I live, all the stairs are black marble. In the daytime, it's fine, but if it's a little dark, you can't see one step. It's just solid black, and there's no hand railings.
I don't even think you can have stairs in Canada without hand
Or in the
railings.
United States either, no. But all the time there's no hand railings. So if you're just a little weak in the legs, I'm 70 years old, and my ankles aren't maybe as strong as they used to be, so yeah. it is difficult with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and even sidewalks. Like it's not a very walkable place as far as like infrastructure goes. There's no nice sidewalk to walk on. If there's a sidewalk, people are parking motorbikes on it.
If you're trying to walk and you're looking up to see where you're going, and your next step is 6 inches, the ground is 6 inches lower than it was the last step, you lose your balance a little bit.
Yeah, and brick is sticking up a little bit.
Yeah,
you stub your toe on.
You trip on and stuff, and it's always unlevel, and so that's always an issue. And
you walk a lot here.
I walk a lot here, and it's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
Scooter will shoot past me, and sometimes I feel the breeze all the time, but sometimes they actually, you feel like they brush your shirt or they brush your elbow a little bit. They're so close as they shoot by. Horns here are not anger like in the United States. When I lay on my horn, I'm yelling at you. Here, they're used as a warning that I'm here.
Yeah.
And they'll lay on their horn at 2 o'clock in the morning going straight down the middle of the street as fast as they can. And that noise is something that I think we could do without.
Yeah.
One of the things I do love about Cambodia and living here is...
Sorry, that's just... Whoa, what happened? Did I break this?
Businesses are opening and closing so fast here. The barbershop I went to is now a restaurant. The business that I went to yesterday is gone. Now, how do I find that again? Because there was something there that I liked, Yeah. But that's part of the future of Cambodia. Is changing so quickly. There's so much construction and there's so much investment and growth going on right now. I call it, I live in the kingdom of wonder, because I always wonder what's going on. What's going on? There's construction over here, construction there. What's going to be here next?
That's another point actually that I wanted to cover is lack of information. It's hard to find information about things. Like I wanted to go to the kickboxing event. Like I knew it was happening these 3 days and at this place, but I couldn't find any times. More word of mouth here.
Yes.
And then like reports that are accurate.
Yeah.
We need to talk about the weather and the heat. Obviously, It's not for everybody. I don't mind it that much, really. Like I much prefer it to Canada, where I can complain about it being way too cold and I can complain about it being way too hot. Here, I can just complain about it being way too hot. You get used to it. It doesn't bother me that much. How do you feel about it?
Definitely, as someone who isn't used to living with this kind of heat year round, I would never live any place without a pool. And when I first moved here, I would get up in the morning, I would go up to the pool, I'd be in it 10, 20 minutes, I'd get that body core cooled down. Then I could go back to my room and I could stay for a couple hours, and then it was like getting too hot, back to the pool, and another 15-minute dip, and then I'm good for a couple more hours, and then back to the pool. So at first I was going easily 3 times a day, and at night it's either go to the pool before you go to bed or go take a cold shower. And if you don't have a pool, that's what you have to do. You have to take cold showers all the time. Yeah. The pool is definitely $100 a month more. If you're going to find a building that has a pool, you're going to pay that much more a month. So, but I think it's worth it. I heard a lot of horror stories about aircon, and I think it's these people who put aircon on and they try and set it at 20 degrees and they keep it that way for 24/7, and then they end up with these astronomical electrical bills. I've never had a bill over $100, which is, if I had to heat my home in Colorado, I'd pay in the wintertime $200, $300 a month. So it's not any different from that. It's just an expense that you have to be aware of. I feel like you adjust to it because after being here for a year now, right now this weather is very, very good. It's cooler. I'm not hot very often. A year ago I was hot all the time this time of year. Yeah. So you adjust, but you only adjust by giving up the air conditioning and suffering a little bit to get used to it. If you hate hot weather, then Cambodia is not the place to be, that's for sure.
What about the rain? The rainy season just kind of coming to an end now. How was the rainy season for you? Did you find it was too much rain? Was it a problem?
The rain has never stopped me. We just spent a couple days in Camp Pot, and it rained in the afternoon, but we knew it was going to rain in the afternoon, and we just planned to do our sightseeing and what we wanted to do in the morning, and the weather was beautiful. The people who, if they say don't come because of the rainy season, wrong.
Yeah.
This is the best time because, first of all, the hotel was not very full. The rates are cheaper. It's always easier to find guides and to schedule things because they're not busy. It never rains for more than, like, it seems like an hour or an hour and a half at a time, and then it's gone. And there was a night, yes, when it rained a lot, and I looked out and the street was flooded by the marketplace, and I could see people in knee-deep water out there, and it was, you know, you wondered what happened to all those businesses that were there earlier in the day. Did they get everything picked up and moved away and stuff? But it's only here for a little while and then it's gone.
Yeah, I do think that you need to be careful when you're picking a place to live that you don't have an apartment that's on a street that floods, because there are certain areas in town that do flood a lot more often. I've seen maps online that show the flooding. Also, I have experienced heavy rains and my sinks started like spraying water out. Like the water had backed up or whatever, you know, and it was coming back up through the pipes. Shut up, drain. Oh God. I don't think it was sewage water, but I think the plumbing here in general isn't great. Some people say don't flush your toilet paper, but I think all the modern buildings, it's perfectly fine to do that. But some of the older buildings, you don't want to do that because it blocks up everything. Another thing that is possibly a concern, noise pollution, karaoke loud at night.
Someone is thinking that their singing is so good that they should broadcast it to all of us.
I'd say after 10, people usually shut down their loud music. Bassick Lane, there's a lot of noise there, and there's actually a lot of residential buildings there. People are complaining a lot more about loud music there in the middle of the night. Also construction noise. Have you found noise to be a problem?
I can't say that noise has been a big issue for me. I live very, very close to Russian Market, and there happens to be a guy that has a little fried rice stand, and I can hear him when he's down there cooking the rice, the metal, you hear the dogs barking, you hear kids laughing and playing and screaming. Everybody's got a 1,000-watt speaker system of some kind, and they just put on their music. I've adjusted to the noise. But for some people, I'm sure it would be an issue, but don't rent a place that your balcony or your bedroom window is overlooking something that's noisy, like a marketplace or on a major street. And that's easy to do here. There's plenty of quiet places too. So in the construction noise, yeah, if there's something next to you, yeah, you're going to hear it. But, you know, just take that into consideration when you rent your place or buy your place if you're going to be here permanently.
I've gotten used to the noise. It doesn't bother me hardly at all.
Come on. What the hell are you guys doing over here? What in the
One of the things you got to realize, when I left the United States and I moved here, basically everything I could bring with me was in my suitcase. So I left behind all kinds of artwork that I collected over the years and things like that, mementos and stuff, souvenirs that you pick up. Living in Cambodia, it's a very non-material world. Feel like pretty much everything I have, I can move at any time. I need to have that ability to just relocate. If I bought a Christmas tree, for an example, I like Christmas. I'm gonna buy a tree and ornaments. Where do I put it for 10 months, 11 months of the year? There's no space. I barely have enough room in my apartment for my clothes, and I don't have a lot of clothes either. You don't have room for extra stuff here because apartments are small. There's just no place to store everything. So, you know, make sure you don't buy stuff, because how do you keep it?
Yeah, or bring too much with you if you come here.
Yeah.
Another complaint that I hear a lot is the amount of plastic bags, a lot of like takeout plastic and stuff like that people have a problem with. The other day I went to a store and they were selling one slice of bread in plastic wrap. One slice. It's not really an issue for me, but a lot of people have worked hard to cut down on their plastic and stuff, and then they come here and they're just like overwhelmed by all that.
Yes, yeah. Even when I carry a bag with me to a reusable shopping bag, they put it in a bag so fast and hand it to you that it's hard not to gather and collect more bags.
Okay, what else? Do you have anything else?
There's discrimination here, just like every place else in the world. Sometimes it's my benefit, sometimes it's not. Typical example is like I go to the market that I go to all the time. Someone who stands out, they know I have money, so they're always, oh, come, buy from us, you know. You're being treated differently, and so I say that's discrimination. But maybe that's a harsh word. I don't want people to be upset by that word, discrimination. I'm just constantly being treated differently from everyone else. I book a bus to Kampot. I expected to just go from Phnom Penh to the station in Kampot. But somehow along the way, we pick up people and we drop off people, and someone stops to buy their dinner. I'm like, why don't they ask me where I want to be picked up? Why can't I get picked up someplace more convenient? I feel like I'm being discriminated against. I'm not being offered the same things that the local people are, but it's probably more just the language thing too. But you know, you deal with those things and you deal with it on a daily basis. So there is a big difference between, you know, the way you're treated here, and it's something you learn to get to deal with and accept.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's a pretty good spot to end it, mainly because the battery's about to die.
There we go.
And we've been talking for a couple hours, about like an hour or more. Thank you very much for making another amazing video for me, helping me.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see when we get it in the editing room. Final messages to people who are considering moving to Cambodia. They're concerned about things. What do you want to say to them?
Don't just move here. Come here, stay for a couple of months, check it out, and I think you'll probably like it, and you'll want to move here. I found happiness here.